It's Thursday, August 6th, 2020. I'm Greg Nibbler, and this is Digital Trends Live. Yes, indeed. Hello, everyone. This is Digital Trends Live, and as I said, I'm Greg Nibbler. Thanks for joining us wherever you are. We appreciate it. We broadcast live here every weekday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, bringing you trending tech headlines, news, interviews, discussions, and more. And let's get you caught up with some news here at the top of the show. To start off, let's go to social media. Twitter and Facebook both took action against the campaign for President Trump on August 5th over the posting of false information in campaign ads. So both posts claimed falsely that children were, quote, almost immune from COVID-19. Looking at the responses, let's start with Facebook, which claims in the posts. However, they removed the video from the page after concluding that it was false information, replacing it with a "this content isn't available now" message. Now, this perhaps coincidentally comes on the heels of a letter that was sent to Facebook from 20 different state attorneys general, which calls on the social media platform to do better in preventing messages of hate, bias, and disinformation from spreading, and they need to do more to help users who are facing online abuse. So those letters were sent out. This response happened. Maybe it's a coincidence. Who knows? Twitter, however, has been taking a more proactive response to misinformation in general, and for this one actually hid the Trump campaign's post about COVID-19 and then wouldn't allow it to tweet again until the post was deleted. So with the election coming up very soon, it's about 3 months, we think we're going to see more and more pressure on social media platforms to contain the spread of false information. And if you want to read more about that, you can go to digitaltrends.com. Continuing on here with some trending news. What would it be talking about social media without going to TikTok? So here it is. TikTok has announced they are taking their first steps into the world of streaming television with the launch of an app for Amazon Fire TV. It's going to be called More on TikTok, and it will feature curated videos longer than the maximum 60-second clips you can get on the mobile app. So the app will feature 2 new categories. One of them is called In the Studio, which will feature more in-depth interviews with celebrity TikTok stars like Grimes and other people like that. And the other new category is called This is TikTok. And that one will showcase everyday creators talking about what they do on the platform and how they do it. Now, this doesn't mean that you're going to get to upload anything to the app. So at the launch, it's going to be for viewing only. It will be free, and it will be without ads. So this is available today in the US, and it comes just in time for the debut of The Weeknd Experience, which features The Weeknd, and it'll be a live, interactive, and immersive XR event on TikTok on August 7th. So again, this is the launch of an app on Amazon Fire TV, so that's where it's going to first in the United States, and it's going to be called More on TikTok. So the first kind of step into longer form videos. We'll see how that all works out, but nonetheless, TikTok making moves despite all of the pressure on them. You can read more about it at digitaltrends.com. The home delivery competition is pretty fierce right now, and whether it has to do with food and restaurant deliveries or home shopping, and DoorDash just upped their offerings by introducing DashMart. So DashMart is the new delivery option from them that's basically a digital convenience store. So each location will have about 2,000 items to choose from, like meals, snacks, household essentials, and even spices and sauces. To that end, what they were talking about is, say you have a favorite hot sauce from a restaurant that you want to get, they can go pick that up and have it delivered to you within 30 minutes. So they're going for that kind of local delivery stuff, but also convenience stores. So DoorDash right now is sitting in first place as far as the size in the US when it comes to restaurant delivery. They're ahead of Uber Eats and Grubhub, which was just recently purchased by Just Takeaway from Europe. But the grocery delivery market is still expanding as everyone is still at home. So there's a huge potential for this kind of service, even going against Postmates and Amazon and Walmart. So this service, DashMart, is only going to 8 different cities in the U.S. to start with. It's Chicago, Minneapolis, Dallas, Salt Lake City, the greater Phoenix area, Redwood City, California, and Cincinnati and Columbus. So that's where it's starting, but expect that to start expanding as it goes. Definitely another option, another offering from them. So read more about it at digitaltrends.com. And finally, in trending news, this is coming from, according to a report from The Insider, the BioVisor hazmat suit has begun shipping to some of its nearly 2,000 backers. So this is something you may see in public soon. So here is what it is. This campaign launched from Visor Technologies. They're from Toronto. It launched back in early May when you saw a bunch of different campaigns along these lines of creating masks for people to use out in public. Now, this is a complete covering of your torso. It claims to filter out pathogens, protect against droplets. Here's what it's got. It's got an anti-fogging face shield, neoprene and vinyl. It's got an N95 air filter that it says lasts up to 12 hours. It's got fans in it that bring air in and purifies it, and then also pressurizes it, so it's always pushing air out. So when you breathe or cough, it does push that out. It also has adjustable straps. It's got an adult size and a child size, so there's two different sizes that you can order. And it's also got straps to attach hand sanitizer to it. It's got a USB port on it, so you can actually charge the battery pack. And the whole thing weighs about 3 pounds. Now, if you remember, way back in May, so long ago, there were a lot of these campaigns that came out, but this one certainly took off. It has about $300,000, I believe, in backing, and people have really wanted these. And this is one that's going to be coming out. So how do you feel about this? I know we're broadcasting live as well as recording this news, but is this something that you would wear in public? Now, in theory, it's going to keep you pretty safe. They also really emphasize it for public transportation or maybe taking a flight and wearing this thing. There's some other examples that have been out there of full body suits. This one is just kind of an upper body suit, but still at the same time something that they are pushing out. So these things you can still pre-order. They're at $250, and you can order them off of their website. But again, this is what it's called. So it's the BioVisor Hazmat Suit, and they got about 2,000 backers on it, and that's one coming out of Toronto. And I think we're going to probably see a boom in these things because of the fact that there are so many people looking for different ways to protect themselves when they're out in public. So the BioVisor, again, costs $250, and you can still order them from the website. Take a look at that at digitaltrends.com. Continuing on with trending news, certainly the gaming world is always changing, and to keep us up to date with what is happening in that world, we always have Lisa Marie Segarra joining us. And Lisa Marie, hello. Good to see you. Thanks for being here today. What should we talk about in gaming to start off with?
Well, the first thing that we have to talk about is the Nintendo sale, just because this never happens. So it's really exciting. So basically, there is a massive sale, which makes sense because they did just have a massive profit. So why not share some of the spoils, I guess? So that was for their last quarter, which would have been April through June. So it was like over 400% profit. So they're doing pretty well.
Wow.
And, Switch sales have obviously been doing well. They've been sold out throughout quarantine. So now we're getting some sales. So we have some sales that we're seeing, like not a massive one, but they're going down to like $50 instead of 60. We do have a list of like all of the ones that are on sale, but we have things like Breath of the Wild that are going on sale, which really doesn't happen. So if you want to check out the entire list of all of these games, you should definitely check out the list, and maybe even some that you haven't seen before, like Splatoon. I know, like, I have a lot of friends that are very big Breath of the Wild fans but never got around to it. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. Unless you haven't been able to get a Switch, then that might be a bigger problem.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have had that issue.
Yeah, it's been pretty tough, but if you can't get that, you can always play Fortnite on mobile, which is another big thing I wanted to talk about. They just added cars, which is a really big change. So it comes with the Joyride update, and this also comes amid some really big changes in the streaming community. So it's not just the cars, but we also have Ninja making an appearance. You might remember he was on Mixer with an exclusive deal. So people were really wondering, what's going to happen when Mixer shut down? Like, where will he go? He's like a really big name. He's one of the biggest streamers out there. And so he was streaming on YouTube for, a session, but he didn't say that that's going to be his main platform. And so now that he is out of this exclusivity contract, it seems like he might just be kind of going where he wants to. And we got another update on, where he might be. He was on Twitch, which was his main platform for a really long time, streaming with Dr. Lupo. The stream racked up like 100,000 views in like 15 minutes because, of course.
Wow.
Yeah. And like, to compare to the YouTube one that I mentioned, had about like 4 million last month. Obviously, that's not live, so it can keep racking up views, but man, that is a lot of views. And so, we got to see him trying out the new cars update and like going around in Fortnite and, doing his thing. He's also obviously like an amazing builder in Fortnite. Like that's his thing. So, seeing him control the world is always really impressive. And, I think that those numbers, like 4 million on YouTube, like 100,000 in 15 minutes, part of it, I think, is the fact that we haven't seen him and people want to know what he's up to. But the other side, too, is, he is super popular, and I think this just goes to show like he can go wherever he wants. And he was really big on Twitch, but then he was locked into an exclusivity contract. I wouldn't be surprised if he's trying to see like what does he actually want, like what's going to actually work best for him. Maybe it's YouTube where he can do live streams as well, but also make more money because that has a longer shelf life, it doesn't go away. You have to be like as on with Twitch. If you're not on Twitch like at that moment, that's it. I know a lot of
Yeah.
people that also stream on Twitch and then go and like edit it and put it on YouTube. So he's got options for sure.
Yeah, definitely. He's sitting all right now with all of that money he made from Mixer already. And one quick final thing, I know that we did have just the Mix. Let's see, it was the Mixcloud, xCloud on iOS. I know we've got the story about that at digitaltrends.com. I think we're about out of time, but for everybody to go take a look at that there as well. So to follow along, Android users, maybe not getting to take advantage of that. But Lisa Marie, as always, thank you so much for joining us and keeping us up to date on everything. And we've got all the news there at digitaltrends.com to follow along with everything going on in gaming. And I will talk to you next week.
Of course. Thanks for having me as always.
Lisa Marie Segar right there. She seriously keeps up to date with everything. So follow along there at Digital Trends for all the stories we were just talking about. Coming up next, we did talk to Jake Paul earlier this week about a boxing match that he's got that's going to be facing Nate Robinson. Well, we talked to his opponent. So we've got that interview with former NBA star Nate Robinson. That is coming up next. Stick around back here in a minute with more Digital Trends Live. Welcome back to Digital Trends Live. I'm Greg Nibbler. Thanks everybody for joining us. On September 12th, Mike Tyson will be returning to the ring to box Roy Jones Jr. on a live broadcast on Triller and pay-per-view. And as part of the undercard, infamous YouTuber Jake Paul will be boxing former NBA star Nate Robinson. Joining us now is the former slam dunk champion himself, Nate Robinson. Nate, hello. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing good. I wanted to talk to you about this. This is your first fight. You've really just started even boxing. Why is it that you want to jump into this sport and fight Jake Paul?
It's like, why not? One thing I do love, I love a good challenge. I love, to be able to show, the hard work and dedication that I put into what I do. And I want to show people that, when you put your mind to it, you can do anything.
Well, I got to ask you another question too. There's a lot of people out there that would like to punch Jake Paul. Has anyone asked if they could trade places with you?
I'm trying to figure out why is that? Why do people that don't know a person hate one person so much? But I'm starting to really understand why. All the he talks so much, but maybe I don't know. But it dawns on me that, and it's just surprising that people really don't like this guy for whatever reason. And this world is a cold, cruel world, man. And lots of people have been saying they want to see me punch him in the face, which is kind of crazy. But I just laugh and chuckle at it because I know a lot of people probably say the same thing about to him about me. Like, please, kick Nate Robinson's little ass. I hate Nate Robinson. So who knows, man?
Well, let me ask you this: what's one thing that you've learned about yourself, like as an athlete, over you had an 11-year career in the NBA. What is it that gives you the confidence that you can win?
I'm not a quitter. It seems like I always rise to the occasion when the cards and the game is stacked against me. I always show up. I always produce, and from every team I've been on, for every situation I've been in, uh, I think I've got that being a tough cookie from my mother. She raised three beautiful kids all by herself. 3, 4 jobs. I watched my mom wake up 3, 4 in the morning, get up, go to work, be gone all day, and doing that and working with Boeing for 26 years to 27 years. So uh, I've watched somebody do it firsthand and not complain and not you know uh, moan, complain about whatever, and just get through life with a smile, man. And I'm just trying to show kids that it could be done. And it's like crossing over to a different realm, doing something that people think you have no chance of winning and no chance of or no business, doing or even being in a sport like boxing. I just want to show them that I could do anything. When you believe in God, you believe in yourself. You'd be surprised what you could do.
What kind of tech? Like, is there any specific things that you're using, like a smartwatch or any kind of tech that you're utilizing in training?
Nah, man, I'm old school, man. I really don't try to do too much, tech. I'm just, listen to my coach. Whatever they tell me to do, I do it.
What kinds of things have you been doing for training? And you mentioned some of your coaches. Like, what kind of workouts have you been getting into?
Man, my coach, shout out to the Reyes family. They have been just running, conditioning, strength and conditioning. Uh, you know, heavy bags, tire flips, chopping wood. I mean, everything you could think of doing, I've been doing. The sparring. I mean, everything. The countless, hours of just, different styles of punches and working on your footworks. And then studying, watching film, watching some of my mistakes and some of other people's mistakes and some other people's strengths and being successful in the ring, just being a real complete student of the game. And it's like my coach told me, it's pretty cool that he looks at me as a empty canvas, and he can literally teach me and paint the picture of what what we're trying to accomplish and what he expects out of me. So that's the beauty of starting from the bottom and working your way to the top. And this is just the beginning. That's the beauty and that's the fun thing about it. It's just the beginning. We're just getting started. And come September 12th, I'm going to show the world what hard work and dedication, what it looks like, firsthand.
One of the other things that's been going on too, when it comes to boxing or fighting or even in the NBA is smack talk. And I know you and Jake have kind of gone back and forth on Twitter, but going to your NBA career, who is the biggest smack talker you ever encountered?
Kevin Garnett, him, Gary Payton, those two guys. Jimmy Butler, another guy that talks smack, talk trash. I mean, myself, my boy Quentin Richardson. Shout out to my big bro Q. I mean, there's a lot of guys that know how to talk some trash. So it's cool. Like, hearing some of the things Jake say is really nothing compared to what I've heard like KG and different guys say. So, yeah, man, I've been around, some legends. Like, Jake Paul is just, a YouTuber. I've been around real legends that really put in real work to get to where they're at.
A couple more quick questions. You just posted a video just actually a couple of days ago, I believe it was, showcasing you taking a look at some exclusive shoes. And I wanted to ask you, how big is your shoe collection and what is your favorite pair of shoes of all time?
Man, I got so many pairs of shoes that I love, man. Honestly, I got hundreds, maybe thousands of shoes, man. I just, something about the sneaker, man. I think growing up as a kid, not having them, parents couldn't afford them. And when you make it and you get to your pinnacle and you get to the league, it's like the sneakers. I kind of wanted more. I kind of wanted sneakers before I wanted to buy a car. If that, I know it sounds weird, but I just, I wanted to buy. I was like, y'all, I didn't get every pair of J's, every pair of Nikes that I always wanted, that I never got, and my mom couldn't afford. I'm gonna treat myself and get those for myself. So I did that, which is pretty cool. But I would say one of my favorite pair of Jordans is probably the Jordan 1s all time. I would have to go with a pair of 1s, man. Low top, mid, highs, don't matter. Just any Jordan 1 can. A custom pair would probably be my favorite. Like kind of creating your own, that only one of one that you would have, that nobody would have but you.
Nice. Well, going back to the fight itself, how many rounds do you think it's going to go, and how do you think that you're going to win?
I don't know, man. I just want to win, no matter what that is. If it's a knockout, if it's a decision, doesn't matter. I just want to, I just want the best man to win, and I want to go in and show people, what I can do. I wish I knew the future. I wish I could tell you that, but like you said, September 12th, it's more fun. You guys get to watch and see, and see what the outcome is.
Well, September 12th, I know there's going to be a lot of people rooting for you, so that is coming up. People can watch on Triller, on pay-per-view. Definitely get that. And Nate, I want to say thank you so much, for spending some time with us to talk to us about this. Appreciate it a lot. And yeah, we'll talk to you soon.
Yep. Peace, man.
Nate Robinson right here on Digital Trends Live. Again, that's September 12th. That's when that fight is going down for Tyson, Roy Jones Jr., and then Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in. We're going to be right back after this with more Digital Trends Live. Welcome back to Digital Trends Live. I'm Greg Nibbler. Hit that subscribe button. I know I say it a lot, but why not just take the time to go do it right now? Because we keep you up to date on everything going on in the world of technology. That includes entertainment. That's what we're going to talk about right now. It's time for real news. We've got our own Rick Marshall here. And Rick, I know it seems like every week we do talk about theaters and the state of those, and we kind of do have an update on that, I guess, this week.
Every week, we discuss these same things. It's making progress, I guess, towards eventually, getting back to normal for Hollywood. But yeah, the biggest news right now is Disney has opted to send Mulan, one of its really big releases that was supposed to come out in March and then in September. And now it is heading straight to Disney Plus as a premium rental there. They're going to charge $30 to rent it on Disney Plus. This is sort of breaking new ground for Disney because it's the first time they've actually charged you to watch a new release on the subscription service.
And I think, showcasing this, like them finally making that decision, because I know they pushed this back since, I think, yeah, like you said, like March or something like that. And for them doing this, do you think that this could be a sign for some of their other movies? Because this one I'm not as concerned about. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, I love those movies, so I want to see more of those. Do you think there's any hope that they would do that in the absence of theaters?
Well, I think that they're going to wait until the very possible last minute to make a decision on that front, because I think that, it's very unproven territory right now with these video on demand sent straight to streaming network releases, how much money they can feasibly make from, the live action films like this as well. So I think they're going to wait at least until there's more data out there. Fortunately for Disney and for Marvel, the Black Widow movie, the next, Marvel Cinematic Universe film that was slated to to come out, isn't really one of those movies that's set in a timeline that, you know, everything else has to come out after it, or, you know, it comes out and sets the stage for everything else after it. They can be a little bit more flexible with that film. So I think they're going to wait until the last possible minute. And I think that streaming, sending it straight to streaming, is going to be the last resort for Disney, because I know they want to send this one straight to theaters. And I know this is one of those movies that people want to see in theaters. So I think it's going to be a while before we get a real final verdict on that one.
Well, going from that and into something else that we can watch now, I know there's some new releases or shows that are coming out that people can take a look at.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first up on it, HBO Max and HBO have An American Pickle coming out. This was another one of those films that was intended to go to theaters, but then with everything else going on, HBO Max is going to be releasing it straight to HBO. So it's a comedy. It's a sort of, you know, dramatic comedy with a sort of a silly premise. Seth Rogen plays dual roles in it, and he plays a 1920s immigrant who falls into a vat of pickle brine and is preserved and sort of wakes up in the modern America and runs into his descendant, his only living descendant. And basically, his living descendant is also played by Seth Rogen. So basically, it's Seth Rogen acting against Seth Rogen, and they're sort of, learning how to live in the modern day. Sort of a coming of age tale for the descendant, and sort of a, learning about modern society and culture for, his immigrant ancestor.
It sounds ridiculous, and I will watch it. So going from An American Pickle, there's one on Amazon, and I'm kind of curious your thoughts on this Capone movie, because it's not a traditional Capone version, right?
And I know that you love the mafia movies after many conversations about this. So I knew you were going to pick up on this one. Yeah, Tom Hardy plays Capone. And it is not the traditional, mob movie, as you said. It basically takes place in Capone's twilight years. Tom Hardy plays Capone near the end of his life when he's living in Florida and suffering from dementia and all the associated issues that come from living the life that he has, but also being this massive iconic figure in America. The film received rave reviews for Tom Hardy's performance. It was released as a video on demand a little bit earlier this year. It was another one that was supposed to go to theaters, but then went to on demand. And the writing and direction sort of received some criticism and such, but Tom Hardy's performance as the aging Al Capone, everyone was praising. This one was one that everyone loved what Tom Hardy did in this. And one of the coolest things about it, Tom Hardy isn't wearing a mask in this one. We all know that he's famous for wearing masks in just about every movie that he's been in, or not talking much. And this one, he gets to kind of flex those actor muscles that he hasn't been able to flex in a while.
Nice. Well, all right. Well, I'm still going to watch it because, like you said, this is up my alley anyway. So Capone, Amazon, August 10th. And then going to the documentary side of things, I do love behind the scenes footage and just how things were made. And that's what we're going to get, I guess, with Disney Plus with this other one.
Yeah, this is a really special one. The documentary Howard hits Disney Plus this week, and it's all about Howard Ashman, the famed, much beloved music lyricist and producer for Disney's animated films over the years. He was responsible for some of the most famous songs that Disney lovers know, and anyone who's seen a Disney movie knows, from The Little Mermaid, from Aladdin, from Beauty and the Beast. Aladdin was actually released after his death. So, there's just so many of these songs that are part of any Disney lover's background. So this documentary explores a lot of, his life and his legacy. It also includes a lot of archival footage that's never been released before. It's directed by his composer and producer friend, Don Hahn. And it's really going to be a trip down memory lane for Disney lovers. I really can't recommend it enough.
That sounds actually really great. I will definitely be watching that too. As always, Rick, you keep us up to date on everything going on in the world of entertainment. Of course, we've got it all at digitaltrends.com too. People can go and take a look at everything there. And Rick, I will talk to you next week.
Hey, see you next week.
Rick Marshall right there, always keeping us up to date. Love his segments because he's got some great stuff for us all to watch right there. And again, digitaltrends.com. All right, that is today's episode. But here, I want to tell you about tomorrow's episode because we have some Actually, a really great interview that's going to be on tomorrow. So we're going to be talking to Maria Ressa, who is an incredible journalist. She was a 2018 Time Person of the Year, and she's in the Philippines and fighting against a lot of different things in the attacks on journalism. And we're going to be joined by her and Ramona Diaz, who is the director of a documentary called 1,000 Cuts, which follows around Maria and some other investigative journalists in the Philippines and just what they go up against. So we're going to talk to both of them tomorrow. We'll have that interview here. We'll have tech briefs where we'll recap some of the biggest stories in technology and, of course, all the latest technology news. And that's what we do here every single day. So hit that subscribe button. Join the show every day with us. We'll keep you, on task with everything going on in the world of technology. And I'm Greg Nibler. I'll see you right back here tomorrow with another edition of Digital Trends Live.